I want to ask you another question. It's from Pedro. And Pedro says, Minister Blair, in a time of such social turmoil, what changes do you think are essential in restoring the public's trust in the police?
I will tell you, first of all, Pedro, let me say how important I think trust is. You can't really police a community without their consent. And that consent is based on trust. Trust that you're competent, but also trust that you'll do the right thing. And you can never take that trust for granted. I will also tell you from along many years of experience in policing, it's a trust long and hard earned and very easily lost. And therefore, I think it's absolutely critically important that the things that help us maintain trust in police and other institutions in the criminal justice system is independent, objective, and impartial oversight. Good governance, so that it is the police running the police. Good oversight, so that there's an accountability. And so, for example, I believe absolutely that there should be an independent civilian review of complaints. I also believe that when the police are involved in an incident where there's serious injury or death or an allegation of serious criminality, such as a sexual assault, that should not be investigated by the police. That shouldn't be investigated by somebody independent who doesn't answer to the police community, but rather perhaps to the Attorney General or some other authority. I think that's really important. So the Canadians can see that their police services are under control, that they're accountable to the rule of law, they're accountable to a civilian governance, they're accountable to the public. I also, I used to, I'll just give you some examples of how I tried to do it. We have a discipline system in our professional standards in policing in Toronto. I made it so completely public that when I charged the police officer with misconduct, we did that trial in public. I actually set up a courtroom in the lobby of headquarters so that the public could come in, the press could come in. They could hear all the evidence, all of the testimony. They could hear the verdict, and it was published in the papers. And some of my police officers said, like, why are you doing this? I said, you need me to do this for you so that people can trust us and trust you. And so we were very, very transparent. I also used to publish all the data on a regular basis on who had been charged and what the outcomes were, because I think that's important. If you want to be trusted, you have to be trustworthy. And a big part of that is being willing to submit to the accountability that the public demands. I also believe that there needs to be, strong systems of control. The government, municipalities, the province, we all have a responsibility here. One of the things that I see happen is people try to put the responsibility for certain things off on others. None of us are off the hook on this. We all have a job to do. We all have a responsibility to ensure that the public can trust the police. One of the things I will tell you as well in Canada, the public very strongly do trust their police services, but not in every community. And certainly among visible minorities and Indigenous communities, their lived experience is different than everyone else's. And we've got to pay a lot of attention to that and make sure that we are responsive and worthy of those communities' trust as well.
I think your idea of what you did in terms of putting out reports and telling the facts is that arm in arm with accountability is transparency.
I agree.
And I think that is probably one of the things that's going to need to happen to restore that public trust.